Welcome back to another video. Today I'm looking at the TA20 from NexTorch. The company sent this in for review, so I'm just going to put some basic information on screen with the packaging, just to give you an idea of what you can expect in terms of the specs. As far as this particular model goes, it looked quite interesting because it's a compact tactical torch and it's running off of a 16340 battery. So I'll just go through quickly what's included. We have the user guide. They've also got their own branded wrist strap with an adjuster and the Type A to Type C charging cable. Looking at the torch now, and you can see that this isn't particularly small for a 16340 model. In fact, it's quite big really. They do have a sort of matte effect finish on this and I quite like it. Here's the switch at the top. That does have clicks and there's a fairly decent amount of resistance on it. That lets you switch between the three modes: tack, duty and lock. Here's the nano ceramic bezel. It seems to be the latest buzzword for the industry. You can unscrew that if you want to. That will give you access to the LED. That's using an Osram P9 and the texturing sort of light to moderate really. It's not a heavy texture on this torch. The design on this clip is quite nice because it's sort of locked in with the tail cap as well. So there's no chance of that pinging off. The switch at the bottom, that's also metal. And that's a two-stage switch, so you can quite easily feel when you're halfway and when you're fully pressing down. Just unscrew it now to show you on the inside. They've got quite a tightly wound short spring. The battery that they've given you is an 800 milliamp hour with a Type C charging port. If you're going to use this a lot, I would definitely pick up a spare or two. They're not the highest capacity batteries, but they are compact and fairly easy to get hold of. I'll just show you the clip now by taking that off. There's another design with this. It stops it rotating around. There's just a notch in the body. So when you put that back in place, it stops it from rotating and spinning around. It's a nice strong clip. You won't have any complaints with that. They also sent in the FR1, which is a tactical ring. A few different color options on that, but I do have the black one to show you. It's made out of that hard but flexible plastic type material, so it doesn't snap or break. It's quite strong. It's got grooves on the side, so what you do is unscrew the base or tail cap and then just slot that into position, and you can just leave the clip in place. You don't have to take that off, and I like that feature myself because you might want to use the clip and also have this tactical ring in place. It is an add-on extra. I would prefer maybe if they included this in the bundle. They also have other items such as a helmet mount and a holster. So we'll cover the UI now. We'll start off with the tack mode. This is momentary, half press for turbo and a full press for the strobe. It's just momentary. You can't lock these off into a continuous. If we rotate the ring around now to the duty mode, that's more of the standard mode that you'd normally expect. You do still have the momentary with a half press, your full press on and off, and you half press to cycle through the power levels and the strobe mode. It always starts at the highest power level for some reason. I would prefer to have a memory on that so it would go back to the last setting, and the last mode is the lock, and that's a full lockout. Nothing will work on that until you've moved it out of that position. Charging speeds were just over half an amp, and you'll notice that it is a bit cooler than most of the cool white LEDs, but I would note that it does get a little bit warmer when you start to increase the power levels. There are a bit of a shift there going on. That's quite common for the LEDs. User guide is on screen, so have a look through that, and we're just going to give you a comparison with the Phoenix E16. You can see that the NexTorch is about twice the size. Start off with the TH10R 950 lumens. That's a mixed beam output on that. Moving on to the Phoenix, there's quite a warm tint off that torch. I did a review on that a few years ago. With the TA20, there's definitely more focus in the middle. Is it 1000 lumens? Hard to say really, because the beams are a little bit different between all three of these torches. As it's a tactical style torch, they're going for a slightly tighter beam pattern. I have no complaints with it myself. I can see how that fits the style of a tactical torch. I prefer a slightly tighter beam over an EDC type model. A few more beam shots now, so have a look at those and I'll give you my quick summary at the end. give you a few thoughts on the TA20 now. I'll tell you what I like first. I like the design, the body styling and the switch. I think they're excellent overall. Very nice finishing on this torch. A couple of things that I didn't like. The first is the strobe mode integrated into the main power levels. I much prefer that was taken out. I'd also like to see a mode memory included. An extra power level would give you a bit more of an even spread throughout the power levels. It's also quite expensive for a 16340 torch, so that's something to bear in mind. Perhaps look out for a deal or something like that. More videos coming up soon, so do stick around. And don't forget, do leave a comment down below if you've got any thoughts on this. I would be interested to hear what you think of this particular model.